Good morning. It is almost 4 a.m. It's another rough night of sleeping tonight. I think the steroids and everything is taking its toll. I was able to walk quite a bit yesterday, but afterwards my body was rebelling a little, lack of conditioning and stuff. I wanted to say hi about something that's really important. And that is the importance of finding a support group when you deal with any kind of chronic illness or other major event in your life, I imagine. I was diagnosed in 1998, and not that many years later, on MySpace, I came across an MS support group that was Stan's Angels. This wonderful man, Stan Swartz, I believe he's out in Arizona, started this because his own son had got diagnosed with MS, and he wanted to be something positive in his son's life and proactive, and he wanted to learn more about the disease and ways to help people that were struggling with that. So over the years, I've been with Stan forever, and encouraged people to blog on MySpace at the time, to share their feelings and their successes and their failures, their fears about what was unknown, because there's so much unknown about multiple sclerosis, what the cause is, how best to treat it, all of those things. We've since, over the years, ported over to Facebook because it has become the more popular social media outlet. You can go to facebook.com/StanSwartz3 and add him as a friend, and he will welcome you. You send him messages privately, let him know what's going on. He puts everything together beautifully with pictures, and he has tons of volunteers that help him. And we're Stan's Angels, and our motto is perseverance and hope. I can remember back in the early days when we were trying to think of what word made sense for an MS patient or anybody of a chronic illness, and that was perseverance. Our goal in life is to persevere. And the hard part about having MS is, people say, well, you do too much, stop. And they're not wrong always, but it's a balancing act, because as an MS patient or a patient of any kind, I would imagine, you do what you can when you can. And so when you feel like, I'm going to be in pain and hurt at the end of this day, regardless of what I do, how about I accomplish something today? And then maybe the pain and the annoyances or whatever will have been worth it. I highly endorse this group. I'm not even certain how many people we're up to. I mean, thousands of people from across the country have been affected by Stan. Even some people from around the world. And, being able to say, hey, there's a new medication, and I've been there. I mean, I've been on Avonex, Betaseron, Copaxone, Tysabri, IVIG, steroids, Cytoxan and Novantrone, which are types of chemotherapy. And when the doctors would throw these names out at me, you immediately run and you Google everything. And that's nice, but it's a lot of information. So who do you ask when you say, how does this affect you? Understanding it would possibly never affect you the same way. That's an absolute possibility. But you had somebody to bounce it off of, or somebody to just say, wow, I'm thinking about you, and that's a lot to go through. Those things are really helpful. You can check out www.stansangels.com, and there's a big red button there to join him on Facebook. He had the Facebook page got too big, it crashed, so he had to start another one. But the amount of work and heart that goes into this with people is amazing. When Stan asked me if I would video blog my experience with pheresis, I jumped at it. It's harder for me to type for too long. I lose my train of thought sometimes. So this was the easiest way. And now thinking, I'm going to move on to Gilenia. I mean, there's people I can reach out to and say, hey, does anybody have any good or bad or otherwise experience with Gilenia? Any advice for dealing with it? We had one angel that started a column about coping with steroid withdrawal, and understanding how to do that, and tips and techniques. And everything is always disclaimer. Talk to your doctors, talk to your nurses, talk to your healthcare provider. But it's nice to talk to somebody else and know you're not by yourself. We've got the disease that walks around and we look fine. And the interesting part is, for having MS for almost 15 years, even to this day, in this past week, the surprising number of phone calls I've received from people that have said, I didn't know you were that sick, which is an interesting way to put it, but I don't bring it up much, so I guess I could understand that. Anyway, this is my full endorsing of Stan's Angels on Facebook. Please go to stansangels.com, click on the big red button on the left. It'll shoot you right over to Stan's Facebook page, which again is facebook.com/StanSwartz3. That's Stan.SWARTZ3. And it will shoot you right there. And get a feel for us. Check it out, look at it, take what suits you and leave the rest, and that's what we've always said. I have met friends over the years that are just pen pal friends, nothing big, nothing creepy, but it's nice to be able to reach out to somebody and recognize somebody when they're, they have a child or they get married or they lose somebody in their life, and it's just a fantastic place to start, so I highly recommend checking that out. So until next time, take care.